Alexis.
I'm Haley.
And I'm Olivia.
And this is CNN Student News.
Doctors are forced to use expired drugs as 300 die in Syria's eastern Ghouta. The devastation wrought in eastern Ghouta by a relentless bombardment by the Syrian regime has forced doctors to use expired drugs and scramble for water as the number of dead reached 300 in 3 days, medics and activists said. At least 260 people were killed and 500 injured in the rebel-held enclave between Monday and Tuesday evening, the Syrian American Medical Society said. Activists with the Damascus Media Center activist group said another 45 deaths had been reported on Wednesday. The intensified bombardment of eastern Ghouta, an area outside Damascus that has been besieged by the regime of Bashar al-Assad for years, drew international condemnation. Amnesty International said flagrant war crimes were being committed on an epic scale there, and the UN Children's Agency published a symbolic blank statement saying in a footnote there were no words to describe the suffering of children. The onslaught has prompted warnings, and the Assad regime, which is backed by the Russian military, is preparing to crush the rebel-held enclave. Nearly 400,000 people are trapped in eastern Ghouta, many of them in desperate need of humanitarian aid, according to the United Nations. Once described as the breadbasket for Damascus, eastern Ghouta is the same area that was the target of an alleged chemical attack in 2013, which activists say killed about 1,400 people. In recent days, families have retreated to makeshift underground shelters with limited food and water to try and shelter from the intense bombardment. A volunteer medical worker in eastern Ghouta, who gave an assumed name, Adam Islam, fearing retribution by regime forces, told CNN he worked in Dar al-Shifa Field Hospital, one of the 13 facilities hit since Sunday. He described a desperate situation where doctors were using expired drugs, including anesthetics, because they had no other option. Equipment in operating theaters and intensive care units is out of date, and there is only about 105 doctors to take care for all those trapped in eastern Ghouta, he said.
8 Turkish soldiers have been killed in fighting in North Syrian region of Afrin. The military says another 13 were injured in the clashes on Thursday, with several said to be in critical condition. It was one of the bloodiest days for Turkish troops since they began a major offensive against Kurdish fighters in Afrin in January. Meanwhile, the UN Human Rights Council is due to debate the situation in Syria's besieged eastern Ghouta area. More than 580 people have reportedly been killed in the rebel-held enclave near Damascus since the government and its allies intensified a bombardment on the 18th of February. About 393,000 civilians trapped there also face severe shortages of food and medical supplies. The debate in Geneva, expected later on Friday, was requested by the UK. A draft resolution seen by Reuters news agency strongly condemns the denial of humanitarian rights and repeated attacks against medical facilities. A map of Syria showing who controls the different areas shown now. Turkey's military announced its latest casualties in 2 statements on Thursday. 5 heroic comrades fell as martyrs and 7 were wounded. The first statement said. A second statement announced 3 more soldiers have been killed and 6 more wounded. No official details of the clashes were given, but the private Dogan news agency says Kurdish fighters used tunnels to ambush Turkish special forces in the Keltit district. A Turkish helicopter sent in to rescue the wounded was hit and had to turn back. The report adds, why is Turkey targeting Kurdish forces? How Afrin became a prize worth of war. Thousands of civilians in Afrin have fled their homes since Turkey's offensive began. The Turkish government says the People's Protection Unit, YPG, militia, is an extension of the banned Kurdish Workers' Party, PKK, which has fought for Kurdish autonomy in southeastern Turkey for 3 decades. The YPG denies any direct organizational links to the PKK. Neither side has released much information about fatalities, making the death toll in Afrin difficult to gauge. Monitoring group the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights says more than 141 civilians have died, but Turkey denies this, saying only combatants are targeted.
Which Which of the following is the first black superhero introduced in Marvel Comics? A. Luke Cage, B. The Falcon, C. Black Panther, or D. Storm? And the answer is C. Black Panther first appeared in comics in 1966. And that brings us to our next story. The success of the 2018 blockbuster film Black Panther has been staggering, making a profit of over $800 million worldwide. The movie ends with the fictional nation of Wakanda reaching out to the world to share their advanced research and technology. Now, Disney has announced that reality will be mirroring fiction by donating $1 million to the Boys and Girls Club of America, supporting the organization in its endeavor to expand their STEM program, helping to allow underprivileged kids access to more education and resources, hoping to get them interested in innovative technologies. The location of the center, in particular, is of interest in that Oakland, California is the same location where the film character Eric Killmonger grew up, and where King T'Challa decided to open Wakanda's facility. The Montreal Also Hope Centers open in Atlanta, Georgia, Baltimore, Maryland, Chicago, Illinois, Harlem, New York, Hartford, Connecticut, Memphis, Tennessee, New Orleans, Louisiana, Orlando, Florida, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Washington, D.C., and Watts, California. It is rare for a film, especially a comic book movie, to render actual change in the world, yet that is exactly what this film has done.
Otters hold hands when they sleep. They hold hands in groups, and this is called a raft. While they eat and sleep and rest, they attach to each other to prevent their families from separating from each other. They wrap seaweed plants around themselves to secure the bond.
Before we go, you may have seen some crazy things at the airport, but hopefully never a peacock. That's right, a woman tried to bring her peacock on her flight as an emotional support animal. She even bought the peacock, named Dexter, his own seat on the United Airlines. United Airlines said, this animal did not meet guidelines for a number of reasons, including its weight and size. We explained this to the customer on 3 separate occasions before they arrived at the airport. The peacock and its owner ended up driving to the destination. I guess the flight attendants are probably afraid how he acted in Bad Feather. I mean, after all, he was acting kind of plain. The owner wasn't saying a lot of detail, but his owner was being very beaky about it all. I guess the feather doesn't fall far from the bird. And thanks for watching. This is CNN Student News.